What time is it? Say it's time for KP's Video News. KP's Video News. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
That's right. It's KP's Video News, y'all. And I'm gonna do this follow-up, doing another follow-up on the Breonna Taylor case here. And this information that just came up was, about Breonna Taylor was reportedly alive after police shot her, but received no medical care. And Breonna Taylor was alive for several minutes after police fatally shot her while she slept in her Louisville apartment, but she did not receive any medical attention, according to a new report. Taylor, 26 years old, EMT, was asleep with her boyfriend when 3 undercover cops burst into her home at 1 a.m. on March 13th during a botched raid and opened fire, striking her 5 times. For at least 5 minutes, Taylor fought for her life while struggling and coughing to breathe, according to her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who told investigators that Taylor was alive as he called her mom and yelled for help. Police are yelling like, "Come out, come out." And I'm on the phone with her mom. I'm still yelling help because she's over here coughing. And I'm like freaking out, Walker said in a recorded police interview 3 hours after the shooting. The news outlet reported for more than 20 minutes after Taylor was gunned down by a Louisville officer at around 12:43 a.m., the young woman laid where she fell in the hallway and received no medical attention. That's 20 minutes. And Louisville, according to the dispatch logs, the family attorneys revised a civil lawsuit. Breonna, who was unarmed in her hallway, was struck by several rounds of gunfire. She was not killed immediately. Rather, she lived on before ultimately succumbing to her injuries on the floor of her home. And that means she was shot and she received absolutely no care. So in related to that, even the governor's outraged. Everybody's outraged. So as a response to that, you got national organizers lead Breonna Taylor's demonstration at Kentucky Attorney General's home. And the mothers of Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery were at training for a direct action plan. And the demonstrators demanded criminal charges for the officers involved in the shooting deaths of Breonna Taylor, sat outside the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron's house Tuesday. And Until Freedom, a social justice organization, led the demonstration from Ballard High School to what organizers identified as the Attorney General's home. Louisville and St. Matthews police have blocked off the neighborhood, arresting some protesters. 2 people leading the march were taken away in handcuffs. An Attorney General's office responded to the demonstrations, saying they would continue to investigate the case. From the beginning, our office has set out to do its job to fully investigate the events surrounding the death of Miss Breonna Taylor. The official said in a statement, "We continue with a thorough and fair investigation, and today's events will not alter the pursuit of the truth." The Attorney General also said the purpose of the demonstration only creates more tension. The stated goal of today's protest at my home was to escalate. That is not acceptable and only serves to further division and tensions within our community. The Attorney General's office said justice is not achieved by trespassing on private property. So we already see where this is going. The family of Breonna Taylor and the mother of Ahmaud Arbery were present as organizers began training for a direct action demonstration in Louisville that day. And the co-founders of Women's March of 2017 protest, the day after Trump's inauguration, helped train protesters discussing how to organize large nonviolent demonstration. We are here to disrupt. We are here to make sure that those in power know we are here to escalate, the co-founder said. During the training, organizers advised participants to write a number on their arm in case they get lost or separated. Legal observers identified the red t-shirts will also be at the demonstration. Organizers said they would target more than one location in Louisville, telling participants to prepare for and not resist arrest. So they're organized over there. They're organized over there to the point of change.org has collected more than 10 million signatures, and that's the second largest number of signatures that they've ever collected, calling for justice for Breonna Taylor, and that's change.org, and you can sign that petition for justice for Breonna Taylor to try to, because they haven't even charged, the cops haven't been fired, they haven't been charged, and it's just like this whole thing is just taking its time. It's just coasting along. So switching reels here, I'm gonna switch over to, we got a crack in the egg. Got a crack in the egg over here, crack in the Republican egg. So Republican governors have been holding secret conference calls to complain about Trump's chaotic coronavirus response. It says some governors have been holding regular conference calls to complain about Trump and swap ideas on how to cope with the coronavirus outbreak. In recent months, a number of Republican lawmakers have broken with Trump to back measures to restrict the coronavirus as it spreads through the Republican heartlands. Trump has continued to downplay the significance of the rising infection rates across the country and has refused to unequivocally back simple preventative measures, such as even simple as wearing a mask. Trifling, man. Dude's trifling. A group of Republican governors have been taking part in secret conference calls when they share advice on how to deal with the coronavirus outbreak sweeping through their states and vent about Trump's erratic response to the crisis. GOP governors for months have held causes. I have called usually at night and without staff present. And the calls are described in the report as a sort of safe space where the governors can ask their counterpart for advice, discuss best practices, and if the mood strikes them, vent about the administration and president's erratic leadership. Non-leadership, if you ask me. In recent weeks, cracks have started to appear in the Republican egg, and Republican governors in their support for Trump's handling of the coronavirus at the rate of infections continues to climb in historically Republican states in the South and the West. Some GOP lawmakers have even publicly broken with Trump to unequivocally back mask wearing and other measures to control the spread of the virus. They including Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, one of the president's largest supporters. Trump has expressed support for wearing masks but refused to wear one in public for months. Lindsey Graham, influential Republican senator from South Carolina, is among those, one of the few that have support for Dr. Fauci, a key member of the White House coronavirus task force, after the White House sought to undermine him by circulating a list of what it said were mistakes he had made to reporters. The White House has since backed away from the attacks on Fauci. And it's like, yeah, man, it's a crack in the Republican egg over there, because some of those Republican governors and lawmakers over there, they're like, wait a minute, our people are dying because of this, because of the direction that Trump is trying to lie, and like he's trying to lie the coronavirus away. In the meantime, people are dropping. I've lost 2 family members to the coronavirus in the last 2 weeks. So one just recently, just this last Friday. So it's like you can't explain, or you can't reason. You can't just talk and just say, well, don't worry about it, it's just going to disappear. That's not how it works, man. There's scientists, there are doctors, there are people, man, that are brilliant people that could be making some real good decisions. Now he's talking about refusing to fund the CDC. He's already cut ties with the World Health Organization. He's talking about forcing kids to go back to school in the fall. Otherwise, he's going to try to withhold federal funds from those school districts, and which he can't do because the president doesn't have any control over that, which is just a lie and a bluff. But you know, he's done nothing. He's done nothing to help this country when it comes to dealing with this coronavirus. And you know, and this is the last nail. This is the last nail in the head of what's going on here. And this is how some of those ignorant Republicans have come up with this Republicans coronavirus liability protection plan. Now, this is the dumbest. You know, look. Oh God. So today's healthcare news. They had a leaked draft of the Republican plan to protect businesses from the coronavirus lawsuits. A failed attempt at testing aspiring surgeons online and confusion around the high percentage of children in Florida testing positive for the COVID-19. So the Senate, read the draft. The draft is a plan to protect businesses from the coronavirus lawsuits. Oh, God. So the Senate is returning to Capitol Hill to debate the next coronavirus stimulus packages. And the Republicans want liability protections for employers so they can be confident with reopening. So far, lawsuits have been filed against cruises, meatpacking plants, nursing homes, and Walmart. Business Insiders obtained a copy of the draft from the Republicans. More than 1,000 aspiring surgeons couldn't make a critical online exam after the system failed. Now they're left worried if it'll ever happen again. So this is another thing that's going on. And an exam taken by surgeons in the U.S. saw online system fail Thursday, leaving more than 1,000 aspiring surgeons in the dark on when or if they'll ever be able to take the test again. So, I mean, this is a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. So, nearly a third of Florida children taking the coronavirus test are positive. A full third of children taking the coronavirus test are positive, and no one knows why. So, health officials in Florida say that 54,000 kids who have been tested for COVID-19, 16,797, roughly 31%, have tested positive. The average positivity rate for COVID-19 among all ages in Florida is about 11%. But with the kids, it's 31%. Say that again. The average positive rate for COVID in Florida is around 11%. However, it's 31% for children in Florida. And infectious disease specialists say the number of children who have tested positive is you can't even argue it. It's extremely high. You know, so they've come up with another report that said kids can become like super spreaders of this disease when they're exposed and they have the disease and they're around older people. So it's like, and then now they're talking about sending kids back to school that can go in and obviously infect their teachers and everybody that works in the schools. And then so they're going to eventually have to stop schools all over again. So they might as well wait till these numbers come back down. It's a lot going on, folks. It's a whole lot going on. And I want you to stay tuned to KP Video News. And like I said, you can go sign that petition for calling for justice for Breonna Taylor at Change. That's CHANG.org. And so far, they got 10 million signatures. And don't forget who it is.
It's KP's Video News, yo.
Who? Said it's KP Video News, yo.
It's KP's Video News, yo.
That's right.